Mount Everest is a place where dreams rise above the clouds and where many never return. Up there, in the death zone, the air is almost gone, the cold feels alive, and every wrong step can become your last. And yet, some who perished didn't just disappear. They became markers, legends, silent reminders of Everest's unforgiving truth. These are the famous bodies on Mount Everest, the climbers who remain forever tied to the mountain's icy heart. The harsh reality of Everest. Before we speak of these individuals, we must understand the brutal world they faced. Above 8,000 meters lies the death zone, where oxygen is 1/3 of what a human needs to stay alive. Here, your brain slows, your vision blurs, and your muscles refuse to listen. Rescue becomes nearly impossible. Every climber is fighting for their own survival, so when someone collapses, there's often no one strong enough to carry them back. Everest keeps them. And over the decades, some of these bodies gained names, symbols of ambition, tragedy, and the cost of touching the sky. Green Boots, the silent guardian of the death zone. One of the most recognized bodies on Everest is known by only one nickname, Green Boots. For nearly 20 years, he lay inside a small cave along the main northeast ridge route. Every climber heading to the summit from the north side had to pass him. He was believed to beat Sewang Paljor, a young Indian climber who disappeared in a fierce storm in 1996. His bright green boots stood out against the white snow, making him unavoidable, unforgettable. For many, seeing him meant two things. You are close to the summit, and you are dangerously close to death. Today, his body has been moved out of sight, but the legend of Green Boots remains one of Everest's most chilling reminders. Sleeping Beauty, Francys Arsentiev. Another iconic and heartbreaking figure is Francys Arsentiev, known as the Sleeping Beauty of Everest. In 1998, she became the first American woman to reach the summit without supplemental oxygen, a remarkable achievement. But the descent became a tragedy. Exhaustion, lack of oxygen, and the freezing winds overtook her. Her husband, climber Sergei Arsentiev, tried desperately to save her, but he never made it back either. For years, Francys lay on the mountain, her body peaceful, her face snow-covered, earning her the haunting name Sleeping Beauty. She became a symbol not of failure, but of the delicate line between glory and danger on Everest. In 2007, her body was respectfully moved out of sight, but her story lives on as one of the most emotional tales from the mountain. Hannelore Schmatz, the first woman to die on the upper slopes. Hannelore Schmatz was a German climber who reached the summit in 1979. Exhausted on the way down, she and her team decided to rest and made a fatal mistake. You cannot rest on Everest's upper slopes. The cold will take you before you realize what's happening. Hannelore died sitting upright against her backpack, her hair blowing in the wind. She became a chilling warning: never ever stop near the death zone. Eventually, her remains were swept off the ridge by strong winds, but her story still sends shivers through the climbing community. David Sharp, the man who died alone. David Sharp's death in 2006 sparked one of Everest's biggest controversies. Over dozens of climbers passed him by as he sat freezing near Green Boots Cave. Many believed he was already dead, others were too weak to help. His tragedy raised an uncomfortable question: has the quest for the summit become more important than saving a life? David's final hours changed the ethics of climbing forever. George Mallory, the Everest Mystery. Long before all others, there was George Mallory, the legendary British climber who disappeared in 1924. For decades, people wondered, did he reach the summit before he died? His body was finally discovered in 1999, perfectly preserved by the ice. Rope injuries suggested a fall, but the biggest mystery remained: was he the first person to stand on Everest's peak? Mallory's story is less tragedy, more myth, a reminder that Everest was claiming lives long before it was officially conquered. Why these bodies stay? Bringing a body down from Everest is nearly impossible. The weight doubles at high altitude. The cold freezes the limbs, and each step threatens the rescuers' own lives. And so, the mountain becomes the final resting place. These climbers did not just die, they became part of Everest itself. Markers, warnings, memorials carved into ice.